Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Calicut. Thank you so much for joining us today on the CT Sports Report, July 18th, 2016 edition. Again, my name's Chris. Glad you could hang out with me for a little bit. Just a quick show this afternoon just to get you caught up on a few things from the CT Sports Report, some things we've got going on as a show and individually, and also some big news of mine personally, and some new things that you'll see going forward here from the CT Sports Report. As always, this show's sponsored by the good folks over at 2H Brewing. That's Cody, his lovely fiance Leslie, and their good friend Phil. They do a wonderful job of doing some home brews, some craft brews. That is by far one of their biggest passions, and I am a manager at a tennis club and took a sample of his beer over to my members, just as a little marketing research, a little guinea pig type thing. And by golly, they loved it. So, nothing that you couldn't shake a stick at by any stretch of the imagination. So go follow 2H Brewing on Twitter at 2H Brewing, and also hit Cody up if you want some good home brew as well. You can also follow us on Twitter at CT_Sports Report. Again, that's CT_Sports Report on the Twitter, CT Sports Report on Facebook as well. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Quick show, and we'll get down to the meat and potatoes. The CT Sports Report is not disbanding. Amidst rumors, the rumor mill is awakening. We are not disbanding. We are still a show. Cody and I are still tight as brothers. And the thing going on right now is he and his lovely fiance are getting married in September. So they're busy folks on top of full-time jobs and school and whatnot. And again, I've got my full-time job. I'm married, as you can see, the lovely house that I'm living in here. And I've got some big news as well. We'll get to that in just a minute. But just wanted to let everybody know that you probably will see some together shows with both Cody and I in the future, just not as often as you may have once seen them. We've actually been inactive for a couple of months as far as the shows, but still staying pretty active on Twitter, both of us, whenever we can follow something important. Now, with that said, Cody, once fall rolls around and football season gets here, he does a wonderful, wonderful job at looking at fantasy football, football itself, some of the Vegas odds, along with the other football, some soccer. So he may be bringing back a portion of the football and football program that he started last year and did a fantastic job at. I enjoyed listening to him. And if you don't see him here on Google Hangouts, most likely you will see him on the Roar app. That's R-A-U-R, the Roar app, also called Insta Radio on your Google Play and your iTunes stores. So looking forward to him getting back into that, even if we can't get together as often. Now on to what I have going on right now. You've heard us tout WrestlingInc.com since the inception of this podcast. And for good reason. It's the best wrestling website there is out there. Raj Giri, the owner, is a fantastic guy. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him now. And I have recently been added as a staff writer to WrestlingInc.com. And golly, thanks to Cody, he's been sharing the Jesus out of everything that I've been posting. But I have joined them for live coverage of NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic, which is on Wednesday nights on the WWE Network. So join me on their website there for the live coverage and recap. You'll see everything. I'll basically be calling the action via typing. And then there's also a viewing party which you can sign up to be a part of as far as like comments and things like that. So that'll be my Wednesday nights. And a little more recently, I have been named the social media manager for WWE brands. Now, you'll see some other folks, and you'll see a lot of different things going on their Twitter excuse me, Twitter handle. But on Mondays for Monday Night Raw, I will be live tweeting that. On Tuesdays for SmackDown Live, which is recently actually starting just this Tuesday, tomorrow night, we'll be going live on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. The same 2-hour show, just now they're live and on Tuesdays with the WWE Draft. I will be following along all these on Twitter, live tweeting from the Wrestling Inc. Account, which is at WrestlingInc. So big thanks to Raj and the folks over at Wrestling Inc. for giving me this opportunity. Words cannot describe. See, I'm getting all choked up as we talk. Words cannot describe how stoked I am to get started with those guys. And who knows, you might even see this beautiful face for radio on the Wrestling Inc. podcast after a pay-per-view, after a Raw, SmackDown, something like that. So big things ahead for me, and I'm very, very thankful and blessed to be a part of this opportunity. So now that you know what I've got going on there, let's shift over to a few things that I would like to instill here for the CT Sports Report. As I said, Cody and I will not have the chance to really get together as much for the duo shows. We'll be doing more solo shows. So you've got him with the football and football, me with more of the wrestling type thing, as well as your basketball, your football. I try to be as wide range as possible. But one thing I'm real excited about hopefully getting started is some interviews. And we'll be doing those here on Google Hangouts and also on Google Voice. So you can check all those links out on our Twitter, of course, at CT_Sports Report as we get those going. Now, the first couple things that I have in line are a couple wrestlers that are local to the North Carolina scene that are, learning the ropes, running the ropes, so to speak, and making a name for themselves in the smaller promotions, but still doing a heck of a job doing it. I've got a couple of those guys lined up, hopefully in the next week or two, that you will see here on the CT Sports Report, whether by Google Hangouts or by Google Voice on the CT Sports Report Twitter. Another thing that I'm real excited about is another couple guys here in the local Randolph County, North Carolina area are getting another local podcast going. A couple guys named Jan Patterson, good friend of mine, and also Michael Jernigan are getting a podcast going called The Randolph Rewind. So you will see local sports being discussed by those guys, along with some wrestling and, a couple other things as the Randolph Countyans, I don't even know what you call them. As we get going with the high school sports, the local sports, looking maybe back at some former athletes, where are they now type things. But I have no doubt that those guys will do a great job because they are super opinionated, but also super smart guys. I will hopefully be joining them on the Randolph Rewind here in the near future to talk some wrestling and maybe some sports in general. And I will be glad to return the favor as well. You can find them on Facebook at Randolph Rewind. So as you can tell, a lot going on. I've still got my full-time job in addition to the Wrestling Inc. responsibilities. We still live in the great state of North Carolina. Cody, a lot going on with him and his family right now. And of course, me and Cody still tight as brothers, my friend. Shout out to my boy Cody T, my partner in crime, as he says. But again, thanks for joining us this afternoon. If you ever have any questions for us, something you want us to cover, anything like that, be sure to tweet us at CT_Sports Report. Follow us on Facebook at CT Sports Report. Again, my name is Chris Callicutt. Follow me at Wrestling Inc. as well, and we will see you shortly down the road. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.